Next step, upholstery. Alrighty, so now we're back. And we're going to go ahead and start the upholstery. So this, we got our stack. So what we're going to do is take the piece of wood with our rounded side up towards us. Then we put this on there. Now we want to put this piece of foam shifted a little bit forward. We want these edges to kind of roll over the edge of the wood a little bit. You kind of see it's hanging off a little there. It can be a little short on the back, but you want it hanging off. You can see 1/4 inch, something like that on the front. Okay, and then the batting, that goes right over the top. It just kind of centers. Matter of fact, I think that I am going to, let's see, which, it goes this way. Right? Yeah, this is like, sorry. I do have a little bit of stuff in here, which I didn't have. But it's mostly just foam. So we'll do that. So we got our batting. Oh, this is backwards. That's better. There we go. That's what we wanted. Okay, and then I'm going to take this, upside down, so that right in here, right where it needs to go. Okay, so that looks just about right. These are going to wrap up. So the toughest thing about doing this is it kind of has to be tight. You want to stretch the vinyl when you're putting it together. Okay, so if you look from here, you can kind of see that these edges are pretty straight on. Here, these are hanging over just a little bit. Move that a little bit forward. I don't have to overhang too much there. Okay, and you can see it's not perfect or anything, but this is gonna wrap just fine. All right, go back to it. Okay. I have my belly in here. So, first thing we're gonna do, I have the electric stapler. Electric stapler is a wonderful thing, doesn't make your hands all tired and everything. So what we're going to do, put this in, line it up a bit, and put it in a couple of spots. Okay, great. And pulled it out of the wall. Try that again. Here, just a little bit of tightness to it in the back when we first tape it down. What I need to do is get this extension. You want to push down pretty hard so that it sets it. If you don't, you didn't set it so good, give yourself a hammer, tap that sucker in. This is the bottom, you're not ever going to see it. Okay. Now, we're going to stretch it. See what I'm doing here? So I'm stretching it, wrapping it around, pulling it tight, so that for this section, I'm actually putting some pressure. So this is actually the front of the seat, right here. Oh, what did I do? Made a mistake. So that happens. Actually, I'm going to show you. So I made a mistake. Oh, no, it's right. This is the bottom. What, the top? Oh my God. Sometimes I can just crack myself up. It's all good. All right. Once again, I'm going to stretch it. Tight. Get pretty good stretch in there. This is a really handy thing if you got 2 people. One person can pull on it. You don't want it crazy hard to pull, but pretty stretchy. One, pretty good stretch, and another. So this is just kind of setting it up. All right, that's pretty good. Okay, you can see it's already kind of starting to look like a seat. All right, so now I'm going to wrap it around on the other side. Same thing. Pull it pretty tight. And you can see I'm starting in the center, and we're working our way out as we go. Okay, we're going to go around on your side, line it up, good stretch. So this is interesting. So now what I do is I'm tightening it up more with each one. So I actually, when I push down on it, I'm pushing in. It's giving a little extra stretch. So I push down, push it up. It only moves maybe 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, but that gives it that little extra bit of stretch that's really nice. Okay, same thing here. So working my way to the outside. So we're going to be adding a bunch more staples once we get it stretched into shape here. But for now, we're just putting a good general shape to the seat. Okay, that's good. Look at that. It's the seat. You want it to be nice and taut, not too flabby. And this one seems to be pretty good. Okay. All right. Now, this is an interesting part. Corners. The front corners. So these are the front corners. The notches are in the back. That's where the back legs are. Front ones here. We actually, this is at a little bit of an angle, so we're going to have to cut. We have to cut into this a little bit. So what we do there is, actually sometimes you got to cut the batting, but right now the batting is pretty good. It's going to fold nice. So we're only going to have to get a cut here. So cut in a little bit on one side of the V. So this is where the V is. So cut in a little bit. You want it to be able to do this, right? Without forming a pocket. So this, you need a nice sharp pair of scissors for this. Okay. Careful not to cut too far. Okay. And this side, doing the same thing. Cutting in. This is like a pressure relief thing. So you don't want to go too deep. You want to not go deep enough. Okay. So this actually wound up a little bit wide. Probably should have got a little narrower here with this one. I think it'll be just fine. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start by pulling this tight. Okay, and a little pucker there, but you're going to wind up with a little pucker on this kind of a corner. And then what we do, tack it down. Doing that same thing. I push and I push it down. Give it a little bit of extra pull. Okay. Now, we've got this guy here, so you can see I'm getting a little pucker. So I think I'm going to trim this in just a little bit more. Try and get rid of that pucker. Like I said, this wound up a little too wide. Probably wanted a little narrower. But, you know, that's fine. That's going to work out just fine. So now I'm going to start this side. Pull it really tight. Just about as tight as I can now. There we go. And then I'm going to do the same thing. Every time I do this, I'm pulling it tight, leaning into it, pushing it forward as I pull it. Okay. And that's that. I'm going to trim this off. It's useless stuff. I don't need it. Then we're going to go to this one here. Same thing. So this one we're going to pull tight. Tight. So this is really easier if you got two people, one pulling and the other pushing, driving forward, pulling the trigger. No big deal. This one, once again, you can see, got a little something there. Put that on there. We'll put that down. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing here. This one has a little bit more batting in it. So I'm actually going to cut away the batting a little bit. I'm not cut the fabric. So the batting doesn't get too bunchy in here. It's not easy to cut the batting with the tip of the scissors. Doesn't want to cut. The video is actually winding up a little bit longer than I expected. go. This is going to cross over. Should be okay. So what I'm going to do is trim some of this batting out of here. So I'm actually going to trim this back because I don't want too much batting in here. It'll actually be a little bit too puffy in the corner, and the seat won't sit right when it sits on the frame. Again, being extra careful not to cut the vinyl when I've got the scissors in on. All right, here we go. Okay, so now we do the same thing we did over there. Grab the corner. Still recording? Yeah, we're still good. All right. So we're gonna pull this pretty damn tight here in the corner. Stretch this guy nice. A little pucker there. So what's going on there? Right. Push down, push it. Push down, push it. That sound means staples. So this guy slides up, and then this slides back. Open up the compartment. Grab your 1/2-inch staples. Do this with a southern accent from now on. Okay, this is a funny thing. The staples come just a little bit too big to fit in the gun. So I'm going to take a couple off. So drop them in. Close it up. Roll. Good. All right, keep going. Same old, same old. Stretch. Push down. And forward. Stretch. Push down. Forward. Just like that. Okay. Now we do the same thing. Take this guy. Pull him straight. As tight as we can. Pull him over. Okay. Got a little bit thick there. Same thing we did before. Get off the spare stuff. Don't need it. Same thing here. Yeah, I'm sweating. That's so silly. It's humid out today though. So deserve a little sweat. Same thing. Push down, push in. All right, that's that. Again, trim a little away here. We'll come back and clean this up later. But you can see that is actually pretty darn good. Looks good. Okay, now we're gonna do the backs. The notches are a little different. We got these notches here. The notches. So what we're doing with those notches is we're actually gonna pull this up into the notch as much as we can. So pushing that in, really stretching it here in that notch. But it's really pretty much the exact same thing. We are not gonna have to cut these, we're just gonna overlap it. So in this section here, you really wanna pull it tight because of the way it comes together. All right, so now I'm manipulating this a little. I'm pushing this over and then folding it in. Let's see how I did that. Same thing. Kind of wind up with a line right along the edge where the cut is there. So, okay. Same thing here. Pull this in. Pull it across. Like I said, you want this fold line to kind of go right alongside this line here. Same thing. Okay. Do the same thing over on this side. Oopsie, that's a hammer. Pull this up again, work it here, pull that as tight as we can, trying to actually kind of stretch the vinyl here. Okay, that's good. Same thing. Ruh-roh. Ruh-roh. My fabric got locked in there. So I'll also show you how to fix your mistake. Pull it back out. This needs to be out there, so it didn't get stopped when I stapled. So this part needs to be right along there. All right, same thing. Okay. Now this works a little bit better. Now I can pull it tight right along the edge of my seam again. Crazy, I'm sweating. Gross, sorry. That's okay. Yeah. Those a little bit. Okay. Now this one, do the same thing. I want this to line up so that our edge, the folded edge lines up just off of this edge here. Okay. We want this to not be parted. Same thing here where I push it, stretching it. All right, and that's it. That's a seat cover. It's kind of nice. Okay, so now, last thing to do is just do a little bit of cleanup. So we don't need all of this, so we're just going to kind of cut it off. Just too much gets in the way. It's just fine. Just getting rid of it is all. Okay. Now I'm going to go around a little bit of a pucker here, so I'm actually going to push in a little bit and have a little bit of a pucker there where it wasn't quite stretched enough. That's perfectly okay. Here, I'm just going to fill in more staple. There weren't quite enough. Same thing on this side. Just going to fill in. Work shirt is too thick for this job. I think you can see it doesn't have to be perfectly precise. You just kind of make it work. I'm going in and I'm just kind of finishing these off, pushing it down. I could have done a better job of trimming those. Bring it out again. Got a few more. We're almost done anyway. Okay, if you want to, you can add that back in. Tack it on with a few staples. I will tell you, I'm not worried about it. So, that's it. One nice purple seat cushion. That's how she works. Alrighty, so thank you. That's kind of how it goes. See ya.